Hello, today we're going to start talking about loans. As with the last several videos, I'm going to assume that you have read through the notes, and so I'm going to dive right into the example problems. For the first couple of example problems, one quick thing is you need to pay attention to whether or not it's ordinary interest being used or exact interest. Ordinary interest deals with a 360-day year, whereas exact interest we use 365 in our formula instead. Other than that, it's all based around our basic interest formula, which we know is principal times rate. Remember to change your percent to decimal form, and then time. So for number one, Parker purchased a new surfboard costing $600 and financed it as 9% ordinary interest for 90 days. So we are using the framework of our basic interest formula, but since it says ordinary interest, we are going to use this one right here. The principal is how much the surfboard costs. So principal is 600 times 9%. Remember to switch that to a decimal. We move our decimal 2 places to the left. That becomes 0.09 for our rate. And then our time, since we are dealing with partial years here, is going to be our number of days over 360. So 90 days is going to be 90 divided by 360 since we are dealing with ordinary interest. As usual, we use Desmos for our calculations. And to do that fraction, you do 90, then your division key, and then 360. And we get 13.5. 13.5 is the same as $13.50. So it takes care of part of the question. The other part of the question asks for the maturity value. The maturity value, what we see right here, is your principal plus your interest. So maturity value is the principal, how much the surfboard cost, which was $600, plus how much interest. And you don't even need Desmos for that one. The grand total there is $613.50. The next problem is very similar, but notice it says exact interest. So when we set things up for exact interest, we're going to have divided by 365 instead. Holmes added a tack room to his barn costing $4,850, financed at 7% exact interest for 120 days. So to find our interest, it's the cost of the barn for our principal, $4,850, times the rate, 7% turns into 0.07 when we switch it to decimal form. And then time is 120 days divided by 365 since we are dealing with exact interest. So let's put that all into Desmos. Oops, helps if I don't make a typo. Typos. And as usual, we are dealing with money, and so we are going to round to the nearest cent, which is 2 places after the decimal point. So 111 stays the same. It's going to be 6.61 because 616 rounds to 0.62. So 111.62 is our interest. And then once again, to find our maturity value, it's going to be the principal, which is the cost of the tack room, plus the interest. And if you would like, you can do that in your head, or you can do that in Desmos. Let's use Desmos just for fun. And we get $4,961.62 when we do that. The next problem to deal with financing. This often happens when you make a big purchase like furniture, or as we see here, gym equipment, or a expensive musical instrument like a piano. So 2 things we need to know are the amount financed, which is the cash price or the sticker price as you might think of it, minus the down payment. And if the down payment is calculated as a percentage, then it's the cash price times that percent. Let's take a look at this first one. Trudy is buying gym equipment for $1,399. She makes a $199 down payment and finances the rest. How much does she finance? So we are trying to find the amount financed here. So the amount financed is going to be the cash price, the cost of the gym equipment, minus the down payment. And you can do that in your head, or you can do that in Desmos. and we get $1,200 there, or $1,200 is how much she finances. Let's try another one. Rosalind purchased a previously owned piano for $1,140 using the store's installment credit plan. She made a 20% down payment and financed the remaining amount. What amount did she finance? First, we need to find out the actual dollar amount of the down payment. And we find that down payment by taking the cash price, which is that $1,140, times the percent. Remember that 20% becomes 0.20. So to find that down payment, we get that the down payment is $228. The question didn't ask for the down payment. The question asks, what amount did she finance? So we go back to that first formula we saw. The amount financed is going to be the cash price, $1,140, minus that down payment that she already made. And when we do that, we get $912. So that's the amount that will go into a payment plan. The next concept we're going to talk a little bit about is annual percentage rate. And in order to calculate these annual percentage rates, we'll need to use this amount of $100, monthly payment on a $100 loan. So we'll be using this table here in different ways. Let's just go ahead and dive right into the example. Ingrid had purchased a $4,000 gazebo for her garden. The down payment is 20%, and the installment loan has an APR of 10% for 36 months. And then we're going to find lots of things related to that. First, we need to find the down payment. This is just like when we found the down payment in the last problem. It is the cash price, so $4,000, times the percentage. 20% is the same as 0.20. And you can do that in your head or with Desmos. Regardless, either way, you get $800. So it's an $800 down payment. The amount financed, just like before, is going to be the cash price, which was that $4,000, minus the amount financed. $4,000 minus $800 is $3,200, or $3,200. Now the monthly payment, let's scroll up for a hot second here. Your monthly payment is the amount of loan over $100 times whatever you find in the table here. And so the amount of loan we have is going to be the amount financed. So we start with that amount financed, $3,200, and then we divide by 100 because a monthly payment on a $100 loan. So we will need to multiply by how many times 100. So that's where the division comes in. So looking at our formula, amount of loan divided by 100 times what we find in the table. So in the table, we are looking for 10% for 36 months. So 10% in this column, 36 months right here, we get 3.23. So let's do all of that. We can do that all in Desmos at once. 3,200 divided by 100, 0 over, times 3.23 gives us $103.36. That's how much Ingrid is going to pay for each monthly payment. The total amount repaid is going to be how many monthly payments she's doing times the amount of each payment. So since we know it's a 36-month loan, the total amount repaid is going to be the number of months, which is 36, times the amount of each monthly payment. And for that, we get $3,720.96. So that's how much total she's going to end up paying to the company for the gazebo for this loan, not including the down payment. So this is on top of the down payment. So then the finance charge is going to be her total amount repaid, $3,720.96 minus the amount financed. Basically, the amount we're going to find here is dealing with the interest that you are paying because you are extending how long you are paying for this item. Anyway, to do that, we just subtract in business $3,720.96 minus $3,200, and we get $520.96. So just to put everything into context there, the sticker price for the gazebo was $4,000, but she is going to be paying for this gazebo over a period of 36 months, which is 3 years. So the company is, because she's financing it or taking a longer time to pay it off, charging her over the span of those 3 years additional $520.96 because she didn't pay it all at once. That is it for this lesson. We'll continue talking about loans more in the next lesson. Have a fantastic day.